Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Athirah binti Md Yusof, metric number 1180127. So today I am going to talk about the pioneer of Wechsler intelligence scale, which is David Wechsler. David Wechsler was born in Romania in January 1896 and died in May 1981. Completed his degree at City College of New York and his MA and PhD at Columbia University. He is known as an American psychologist and inventor of several widely used intelligence tests for adults and children, and also known in psychology history for his contribution to the concept of the deviation IQ and his development of the Wechsler scale. The scale that has been developed by Wechsler, like Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, WISC, Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale, WAIS, and Wechsler Preschool and Primary Scale of Intelligence. He received many awards throughout his life because of his contribution to the conceptualization and measurement of intelligence. Among the awards received by Wechsler is from American Psychological Association APA Award for Distinguished Professional Contribution. Other than that, he was also honored by APA's Division of School Psychology and granted her first honorary life membership in the National Association of School Psychologists. The first intelligence scale developed by David Wechsler was Wechsler-Bellevue Intelligence Scale, WBI, in 1939. WBI was named after David Wechsler and Bellevue Hospital, where he worked as chief psychologist. The intelligence test was labeled as unique clinical instrument because it poses good face validity with adults and an adult and group item into subtests. It also utilized standard scores and deviation IQs instead of mental age values and ratio IQs provided by contemporary tests such as the Stanford Binet Intelligence Scale. The scale also provided extensive assessment of both verbal and nonverbal abilities. After the success of the intelligence scale, which is Wechsler-Bellevue Intelligence Scale, Wechsler developed another test such as Wechsler Intelligence Scales for Children in 1949, Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale in 1955, and Wechsler Preschool and Primary Scale of Intelligence in 1967.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aisyah binti Ruslan and my metric number is 1182542. Now we go on reliability. Reliability refers to the accuracy of scores obtained by the same individual when re-examined on different occasions with the same test or with different sets of similar items or under the other variable testing condition. Anastasia, 1968. No test can be valid if it is not reliable. Conversely, a test can be reliable but not valid, as the following example. In a courtroom trial, the fact that he consistently tells the same story does not guarantee that he is telling the truth. The truthfulness of his statements can be determined only with other evidence. Similarly, with evaluation results, consistency is an important quality, but only if it is accompanied by truthfulness or validity must be determined independently. Little accomplished if evaluation results consistently provide the wrong information. Also, test duration, longer tests are more reliable than shorter tests, and lower scores are more reliable than higher scores. Item complexity, group heterogeneity. The more heterogeneous the group, the greater the reliability. And scale distribution, the wider the spread, the more reliable the test. Affect reliability according to Samudah, 1998, which is if the tests are more longer, so that we can know that the tests are more reliability. Next, we go on the Wechsler Adult Intelligence, which is It was developed to access cognitive ability for adults. These instruments aid in examining the relationship between intellectual functioning and memory. The test includes 7 subtests with various types of format. Approximately 60 to 90 minutes is required for completion. The Wechsler Adult Intelligence is a well-established scale and it has fairly high consistency. Over a 2 to 12-week time period, the test rated reliabilities range from 0.707 subscales to 0.902 subscales. Interscorer coefficients were very high, all above 0.90. According to the test manual, the instrument targets 3 are psychoeducational disability, neuropsychotic and organic dysfunction, and giftedness. The West correlated highly with the Stanford Binet for test 0.88 and had high concordance with various measures: memory, language, dexterity, motor speed, attention, and cognitive ability. Bias can be interpreted as ignoring the differences between cultures and forcing knowledge on the basis of other cultures' analysis of one's own society. On multiple levels, this egocentric phenomenon affects minorities. Angela, 2017. It is imperative that educators are culturally competent and sensitive to the needs of their minority students. Ethnic identity was implicitly correlated with grade point average and self-concept in a study of academic achievement among African Americans, Coakley and Chapman, 2008. Educators must be cognizant of their verbal and non-verbal interactions with students, as students may be very sensitive to cultural differences and being treated differently from their non-minority counterparts. School administrators and educators must make informed decisions about how to impart more training for teachers in order to provide more sensitive environment that would be conducive for better learning opportunities for minority students. Coakley and Chapman, 2008, note that stereotypes associated with minority status and thus ethnicity identity can impede the academic goals of a student to justify and promote negative assessment of one's ability to achieve in school.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad bin Zainol, metric number 1180115, and for my part I will present about types of Wechsler intelligence scale. For the first scale is WPPSI, which is Wechsler preschool and primary scale of intelligence. For number 2, WISC, Wechsler intelligence scale for children, and number 3 is WAIS, which is Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. Okay, for this part, I will be explaining a little bit about the 3 Wechsler Intelligence Scale. For Wechsler Preschool and Primary Scale of Intelligence, it has been invented on 1967 for the first version, and it has been upgraded to the 4th version, which has been published on 2013. It measured 5 primary index scale, which is verbal comprehension, visual spatial, fluid reasoning, working memory, and processing speed. The target population for this intelligence scale is between 2 years and 6 months years old to 7 years and 7 months years old. The administration times took about 30 to 45 minutes for age 2 years and 6 months years old to 3 years and 11 months years old. For age 4 years old to 7 years and 7 months years old, it took about 45 minutes and to 1 hour. Okay, for the second one, Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children. It has been invented in 1949 for the first version, and has been upgraded to the 5th version and has been published on 2014. It measures 5 primary index scale, which is verbal comprehension, visual spatial working memory, fluid reasoning and processing speed. It measured between age 6 years old to 16 years old. The administration time took about 48 minutes to 65 minutes. Okay, for the third Wechsler, which is Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale, it has been invented in 1955 to the 4th version of it and has been published on 2008. It only measures 4 primary index scale, which is verbal comprehension, perceptual reasoning, working memory and processing speed. For the targeted population of this intelligence scale, it measures between the age of 16 years old to 90 and 11 years old. The time for this intelligence scale to be administered is between 59 minutes to 100 minutes. Okay, that is a little bit information about the 3 Wechsler Intelligence Scale. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Redzo bin Saad and my matric number is 1180109. Okay, next has been upgraded but still not improved. It is because this instrument has been upgraded from WISC 4 to WISC 5. WISC is Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, but they still have problem from the past instrument. In some countries, there is now a new version of the Wechsler scale, that is of the WISC 5. It will be important to examine how the current pattern of results can affect it. 2 new indexes, visual spatial and fluid reasoning, were included in this new scale, for example, and few new subtests were introduced. Although the subtests and indexes have changed, the structure of the WFC 5 seems similar to that of the previous release. Therefore, in the 2 scale versions, a similar cognitive profile of children with may be hypothesis. Caution should be taken, however, as the 2 versions are not completely identical. Further study should examine the consequences of a possible early presence of a specific language impairment that was not considered, since some specific language impairment have been viewed as various expressions of the same underlying problem, which differ only in severity or stage of development, that's stated by Bishop and Snowley. Okay, for the next point is the evaluation of item bias, which means that the item was evaluated as biased because this point is critical importance to the development of culturally fair tests. The process described above, however, may occasionally reveal that an item believed by experts to be biased does not demonstrate bias when examined empirically. One example is a new picture completion item being tested for WISC 4. This item is a picture of a basketball hoop without the net, and the chart must indicate that the net is missing. Expert reviewers consistently state that this item will be biased because basketball hoops do not have nets in most poor inner city neighborhoods. The empirical data available today, however, suggests that children from these environments are aware that there should be a net on the hoop and give the targeted answer. Thus, the evaluation of item bias during the adaptation phase of test development is a complex matter involving both data and judgment. Thank you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Haziq bin Ramlee. My matric number is 1180108. Okay, for my part, I will explain about the cultural bias in Wechsler Intelligence Scale. Okay, before that, we recap back the type of Wechsler Intelligence Scale. The Wechsler scales include 3 individually administered scales of intelligence. Firstly, Wechsler Preschool and Primary Scale of Intelligence Revised. Secondly, Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children. And thirdly, Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale revised. Okay, for the issue, among the issue is the Wechsler scales are commonly used in USA. However, they have been criticized for their poor reliability for people with IQ score less than 50, for being culturally biased, and for delivering lower scores for children who are culturally disadvantaged. And the Wechsler scales yield a standard score with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 15. Okay, for the second issue is the definition of the intelligence itself. The controversy over the precise concept of intelligence was one such a challenge. It seemed reasonable that defining a precise definition of the word intelligence itself would be the best approach to assessing intelligence and then designing a test to assess this concept. In addition, throughout the history of the intelligence testing, there has been no consensual definition for intelligence established. And it has been suggested that the use of the standardized intelligence test is biased against minorities.
So for the conclusion, we will say that Wechsler intelligence scale has been widely used in the United States of America, but it still has its own weaknesses, where there are also cultural bias issues in the test. Even though it has been upgraded for so many times, and there are a few of Wechsler intelligence scale, but the tests still do not improve. Other than that, the definition of intelligence itself became an issue because the definition given did not give thorough explanation.